I enrolled into a college EMT course. So I became
Right after that 1976
Yep.
deployment up there?
I enrolled to be an EMT. So I was registered state of Missouri, and I was nationally registered as an EMT.
Okay.
And at that point, I decided that I was going to get out of EOD. I wanted something more. So, and not because of what happened to Ken, but I just wanted some more experience. So I put in to be a Special Forces medic.
To go like to become a Green Beret.
Yep. I put paperwork in. I had a class date to go to 91. At that time, it was MOS was 91B, to go to medic school at Fort Sam, Houston. And my goal was to be a Special Forces medic. So I was just waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
When my sergeant major from our control detachment calls me up, Ken had just made sergeant major, and that's why he was going to Germany.
Yeah.
But my control sergeant major called me up, and he said, Mike, they're forming a new unit at Fort Bragg. They're looking for 6 EOD NCOs, and if they, preferably have combat experience. And he gave me a telephone number.
He gave you a phone number.
He gave me a phone number. So I called that phone number and talked to somebody there. And they said, and I told them a little bit about myself and my background. And they said, can you come to Fort Bragg in 2 days?
Can you come to Fort Bragg in 2 days?
Yeah. So I said, sure. So flew to Fort Bragg, went to the old stockade on Butner Road, because that's where the unit was located, in the old post stockade.
Yeah.
There was like 3 or 4 prisoners in the stockade, so they sent them to the Cumberland County Jail, and so we took over the old stockade. That was our.
And that's where you went to basically conduct your first interview to become for
Delta.
Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta.
Right. So I did the interview there, Country Grimes, Command Sergeant Major Country Grimes, and did all the interview stuff. And so I was accepted. So about 2 weeks later, I PCS to Fort, and they were starting OTC 1, the first operator training course. Now,
the very first one.
Yeah. So they had already done selection and assessment. And so they were people that had passed selection and assessment that were enrolled in that. But there was 5 of us EOD guys in OTC 1, and we had not gone through selection and assessment. And it was told that we still had to do that. We still had to pass selection and assessment.